Okay, so this is my virtual presentation for my KVEC grant. As you can see, it dealt with 3D printing, and I tied that in with an evolution of the arts because I'm an art teacher. My name is Charles Brennan Hackney, Eastridge High School from Pike County. So in my proposal, in my classroom, I've always challenged my students to go beyond what they consider to be art. I wanted them to see that there's a broader picture out there, that a lot of the stuff that they use every single day stems from art, or it comes from somebody that designed it, including their phones, computers, anything. I wanted them to have an understanding that art just wasn't old people painting pictures or drawings. There was a lot more into it. There's still actual very viable careers with art, and the way to do that was technology. And the technology I wanted to use was 3D printing. I wanted my students to learn the basics of 3D printing and eventually move into larger projects. I wanted them to transition from just finding things to print to designing their own models to be printed out with the printer. And I wanted to help out other classes that could use the technology because before I got it, it was kind of just sitting around. So while we were using this, our classes ended up doing projects that were used in biology classes, making cell models, computer classes, just making various projects for them, and some business classes. So it's pretty cool. The items that I purchased with this grant, I wanted to bring those up because they were pretty, it was a pretty big deal. We got two of the Maker bought smart extruders, and that's the company that makes the 3D printer. These are pretty expensive, and they go out pretty frequently. So I was happy to get two of those. Large spool filament, which is just kind of like plastic wire. That's actually what the 3D printer builds up. And I ended up getting a lot of paint that we used on these projects and used in my class. It was very helpful. So I'm very thankful for that. So the journey we went on, I wanted to start out students watching tutorials. Anybody that come from another class, they had to watch these videos of kind of getting the basics of how to work this 3D printer, because I didn't want it to mess up, and it was very, it's very expensive. So I'd have them watch these tutorials on YouTube. There's plenty of them, and once they kind of had those basics, they could do a project on their own. So here you can see, after they had the basics, I had the students use a website, pre-designed models. That is called Thingiverse. It's from the parent company of the 3D printer. You can find anything on there. It's awesome. I mean, you could find cell phone cases, cell phone holders, anything. It's just an awesome website. So I had them familiarize themselves with that website and the ins and outs of making kind of basic projects on the 3D printer before they could go into making their own. And once they got that down, I let them go in and start making their own projects, as you can see from the pictures below. They used a website called Tinkercad, and you can basically upload an image in there and then add other elements to it, or you can just start out with simple shapes and make your own. So I had a bunch of students try that. They ended up making a bunch of awesome stuff, as you can see here. Somebody designed me a hall pass Thor's hammer. It was awesome. So that was the big takeaway from this, was they started using this website to make their own 3D models instead of just finding prefabricated ones and printing them out, pretty much. What I didn't get to with all this stuff going on was the computer I have at the school. We have a 3D modeling base that you can actually put objects on, and it scans every side of them, and you can upload that into your computer and work on. So I was hopefully I was wanting to get to this next year is scanning objects in, making the 3D models, and having like a competition style group project. But overall, I think this year was a success. I had some great, wonderful kids that learned a lot about technology, and they got a better understanding of what art is and what design is. And I was very happy with it. So thank you, KVEC, for the grant, and I really appreciate it.